Hello and welcome to the next video lecture. This time we will be covering the topic of textwork with text boxes. Text is usually a very important topic and aspect of PowerPoint presentations, and you should know the basic functions of what you can do with it. And in this video I'm going to show you what you need to know to really become good at working with text in PowerPoint. First of all, I'm going to show you how to insert texts and text boxes. Secondly, select the font type and change the font color. Then also change the presentation font, which is a really important point. Use font design options. And then the last point is use WordArt styles. So first of all, how can you insert texts? Well, normally you insert a text box first to insert the text. And this slide we have opened right now here does already have these text boxes inserted into the PowerPoint slide. So this is a text box. You can click in it and then you will see that you can type in some text. If there is no text box inserted so far, you can do it easily by clicking on Insert, Shapes, and Basic Shapes. The first one here is text box. Click on it and simply draw the box into your presentation slide. You can easily adjust it by drag and drop and place the text box anywhere in your file where you want to have it. In order to insert some text, click into the text box and simply type in your text. So in this case we will be working on the agenda of the presentation. So I'm gonna insert the title here first, and then also the text. In this case we will be inserting the structure that has been developed before. In this case it is a good idea to get rid of this predefined text box and insert a new layout for this slide, or another style of a layout. We want to create a chart like this. We want to have an agenda with two text boxes separate to each other. So this looks, I think, good so far. I'm going to start with inserting the text. So what you can see now is that I've inserted all the text that we need to have for this slide. Obviously it is not adjusted and customized so far, but we will get to that later on. But this is now the text that we need for this slide. When you want to select a different font type, what you can do is you can mark your text that you want to change. Click on the Home tab, go to the font area and click here into this arrow where you see Calibri, which is the standard font of PowerPoint and also Microsoft. Click on it and select a different one. So here you see a variety of different fonts to choose from, and the one we will be using is this one, which I would consider to be an interesting one for this case. It's the font Lilavadi. The font I think looks nice, and we will do the same here. And what you see now is that you can find the font here under the recently used fonts section, which makes it easy to select the font and you do not have to go back to the whole list again. I'm going to change the font as well for the title. Now the page looks nicer than before, and another thing that you can do with the text is changing the font color. For this, again, mark the text you want to choose, go into Home, Font section, and then here this button is for font color. Click the arrow below and simply select the color you want to choose. So in this case blue, for example. You could do this. You could use red. You could even highlight the text in yellow. So for example, when you have a document, when you want to highlight important sections, then you can do it here with the highlight function. But in our case we will reject this and go back to the black text color. A really important point that I would like to present you is the change of the presentation font. What I've done before is I've shown you the way how to manually adjust the font of text boxes. But what you can also do is, for example, when you have a presentation of, let's say, a lot of slides, and you have text everywhere, and you do not want to change it manually, all the slides, then you can do something else. So let's assume you want to have the whole presentation in the Arial font. So as I've said, you could do it here manually, but there's a better way to do it. Click on Design, go to Variants, click the arrow pointing down, click on Fonts, and here you can choose the font you want to use. When you apply these options, then it will be selected for your whole presentation. I have now clicked on Customize to exactly find the font I want to use. Here's the one we would like to use. And then hit Save, and you see all the changes are applied now for every chart, which is simply a really useful thing that you should use when you're designing your presentations. And simply remember, you can do it manually here, or you can do it automatically over Design, Variants, Fonts. So with regards to fonts, there are some more options that you can choose and that you can apply for your fonts. This include, for example, all of these options here. You can make your text bold, which we also would like to do for this chart. Simply mark the text and click on this bold button, and the text will appear in bold. And we will be doing this now for all the numbers. There are some more options provided here. You can also use an italic option for the text. This will make your text italic, and then you can also underline it. This button here is used for applying shadows. So you could, for example, do it for all your titles. You will have a title that has always a little shadow. So this can be done here. You can apply a strike through for your text. Here you can change the character spacing from very tight to very loose, but you obviously should not make any changes there. This button here is for changing the cases. So when you want to have a text that's only applying uppercase letters, then you can do that here. You do not have to write it, you can simply select uppercase here or lowercase. And this, as I've said, we've talked about it, highlight the text and change the font. These buttons are also useful, so here you can increase the font size by 1 level, and here you can decrease it by 1 level. So now we move on to the last point of our contents, which is inserting WordArt. For doing this, click on Insert, go to the text area here, and here you find the button for WordArt. So what is a WordArt? It's simply a text that has more options available, how to customize it. So I'm going to give you an example here. So this is the WordArt text. You can apply a lot of customized options. You can change the text fill, you can change the outline, and also the weight of the outline, text effects. But when you want to work with WordArt, you can find everything under Insert and WordArt. When you then want to customize it thereafter, then you find here the Format tab and also text effects here.